Welcome to day 2 of my seasonal 7 series where I post 7 videos in 7 days leading up to and themed around the winter solstice. Today's video is going to be a series of simple observances that you can do on the solstice. Now I will, as per usual, do a full-fledged ritual. That video will be out tomorrow, but I'm going to go through just the simpler things that you can do if you don't want to do the ritual, or in conjunction with. You can do all of these things and the ritual or whatever, it's up to you. So let's get started. The winter solstice is my favorite holiday, and there's a lot of things that I do on winter solstice. For starters, I treat the winter solstice as my new year. December 31st, July 1st, or January 1st, these are not real dates. The Gregorian calendar does not in any way track real astrological time, and it is my opinion that it disconnects you from the natural flow of the universe. The winter solstice is, to me, the equivalent of the new year. That is when I do all my new year things. So the first thing that I will advise you to do as a simple observance is do the things that you would normally do on a new year on the solstice. For me, that includes a new journal, a new planner, a new notebook, new passwords. Like, these are things that I do on the solstice that sets me up for the following year. And on a side note, for my journals, I only journal from solstice to solstice. So from winter solstice to winter solstice. And I set that journal aside. Most of my journals are not actually full. There's sections of blank pages. But I actually really like that because it tells me how much I did or didn't journal per year. I like to look at my life in cycles. I like to look at everything in terms of cycles. That's why I'm so enthusiastic about the seasonal 7 series. So I take my journals and I start a new one on the winter solstice. The old one gets put away and the new one comes out. Now, in a couple of days, I will release a video about shadow work. I will advise you on your first journal entries. That'll be in a couple of days, so stay tuned for that. In the meantime, I would just advise you to get new things, like new things. It is a new year. That's how I treat the winter solstice. Number 2 is very similar to number 1. Because it's a new year to me, one of the things that I do is I create a word for that year. Every year, I create a singular word, or I come up with a singular word that encapsulates my intention for the following year. I will then take that word, I will sometimes turn it into a mantra or like a small sentence that kind of encapsulates the meaning of it, and then I will turn that into a sigil. So I have a word, and I have a mantra, and I have a sigil, and all of those things follow me through to the next year. I cannot express to you how incredibly transformative this simple act has been. This is easily the most powerful magic that I ever do, because it never fails me. By the end of the following year, whatever word it is I chose at the beginning of the year, I learned so much about that. And it's usually more than I ever could have imagined. And it changes my life in a variety of ways. So I would find a word, or honestly, what I do is I let the word come to me kind of naturally. It's not, I don't have a word that's like, money or something like that. I don't wish for physical things. They're usually more, one of my words was elevate. One of my words was authentic. Like, these are the kinds of words that I use. And then those words become my entire trajectory for the next year. Find a mantra, make a sigil, put it on everything. Notebooks, journals. I will also put it on my windows on the solstice. I will get window chalk, and I will actually put my new sigil on my windows. I will write my mantra in my planner. I will put that word as my passwords. I use it for everything. Number 3, very, very simple thing you can do on the winter solstice is to actually just boil a pot of stovetop potpourri with the seasonal elements. So for the winter one, I'll use apples, oranges, cranberries, cinnamon. It's very, very similar to a fall potpourri. I will include in it pine needles, or little sprigs of pine, star anise, cranberries, and just let that simmer on your stove all day long. Just continuously add water to it. It will fill your house with the aroma of winter. As I mentioned earlier about the new journals and the new things, you could use this opportunity to start a dream journal if you don't have one already. In my seasonal alignment video, which I posted yesterday, I talk a lot about how the winter is a good time for going within. It's a good time for intuition and psychic expansion. It's good for dream interpretation and tarot and all these things and going within. So this is an excellent time to start a dream journal. Number 5 is just to build an altar. Now, you don't have to do a whole ritual just to have an altar, just to honor that day. And building an altar does not have to be complicated. You can literally go outside, pick up sticks and pine cones, and light a couple of candles. Bada bing, bada boom, you have a winter altar. Like it doesn't have to be complicated. It can be as simple as you want it to be. Do not let Instagram fool you into thinking it has to be something elaborate. You have to buy expensive things. You absolutely do not. You can literally go outside and pick up sticks and bring them inside. You're just bringing the outside inside and then creating a sacred space within your home to honor this particular transition, to consciously bring it into your life so that you are recognizing it. And when you recognize it, it's how you flow with the natural cycles of time instead of thinking about, again, the Gregorian calendar. I have a real button on it if you haven't picked that up yet. I hate the Gregorian calendar. I do. I loathe it deeply. Setting aside a space and an intention to honor the actual passing of real natural cyclical time is, I think, massively beneficial for growth and ascension. Number 6 is a very simple, it's not even really a ritual, but traditionally on the solstice, people burn fires all night long. It is the long night and you keep a flame lit. That is traditionally what you would do on the solstice. So a very simple observation that you can do is to just get a candle and let it burn all night long. I will also remind you to use proper fire safety and don't burn your house down. And if you do, don't blame me. I told you to use proper fire safety, so I'm expecting you to be an adult and do so. Number 7 is to spend the day in silence. Like to spend an entire day intentionally not speaking. Spend an entire day listening. As I mentioned in the seasonal alignment video, the winter season is about going within. It is about listening. It's about silence. It's about stillness. It's about internal expansion. So a very simple observation that you can do on the solstice, simple, but probably hard. I don't know. I've never done it, to be honest, would be to have an entire day of silence. I want to do it. I doubt I will do it anytime soon, but I would like to do that. And I think it'd be great. And if you do, by all means, come back and let me know. The other option that is feasible and that I will likely do is to actually unplug for the day. So even if you're not silent, you can at least turn off your phone for the day, turn off social media for the day, don't get online for the day, honor the day with like rest and reverence. As I said, there will be a full ritual video tomorrow. But these are 7 simple things that you could do either in addition to a ritual or instead of a ritual. And don't forget, if you enjoyed this video, please comment, like, subscribe, or share. It helps me grow the channel more than you know, and I appreciate it tremendously. Thank you, and I will see you in tomorrow's video.